So my wife uses this little car here for Instacart. She said the battery light was flickering today, so I guess we'll do another test with this little jewel. It's not great. Don't even have 12 volts in it, and she just drove, well, she's been driving it all day. So we're gonna do a cranking test and a battery test and an alternator test and see what this car needs. It's got a lot of miles on it, but it still runs good. Alright, so we're gonna hit check. It's in the vehicle. Let's do a battery test first. Turn the headlights on for a few seconds. Okay, turn them off. Regular flooded cold cranking amps on this battery is 690. Well, 950, where that's definitely too many. Get her down there to 690. Oh, too far. Hit OK. It says the battery is good, but it's needs to be recharged. So we're back out of it, and we'll do the other test. In vehicle, let's do a cranking test. Start the engine.
Completely.
Start it. Well, I guess I hit the wrong button there, but let's do a charging test. See, it's only charging 11.3. It's loaded test. Bring the RPMs up 2,500. Head off. So it's saying the charging test, loaded, unloaded, ripple, charging normal, which we all know that's not enough voltage in the battery. So I think we've got another problem. I'm gonna go grab my voltmeter and see what we got. I'll grab my meter out just to verify the other one is working properly, and we're only got 11.62 in the battery, which is not enough. So we're gonna test the alternator now with the car running and see if we just have a low output alternator. That can cause all kinds of problems on these newer cars. Just to verify, 11.32 at the battery. And only 11.27 at the alternator. So it looks like we got an alternator that's not good, which is less than ideal, but that's what it is. And probably make a video when we install the alternator. Y'all have a good day. All right, so it has been determined that we need an alternator, which is right there. Really not that terrible. Before we get started, unhook the negative terminal from your battery. And the battery's low. I am going to charge it. Well, the wife runs to town to grab the new alternator and belt. You don't want to put in an alternator with a low battery, because you can take out the new alternator, and we don't want to do that. And then over here you got your wiring. You got your plug, your nut, and then this little bracket here. Those are 10 mils. And to do the tensioner is a 19 millimeter. A semi-deep or a shallow socket is going to be best. A deep well you're going to fight with. See if I can show you where it's at. It won't focus down there. It might right there. So you can see it right there. I've got the ratchet on it. Right there. Alternator's there. And you're going to pull that ratchet towards you. It's pretty stiff, and then you can pop the belt off of the alternator, and then we'll get the bolts out and go from there. So now that I've got the belt off, you can see the pulley, the belt tensioner bolt right there. And I'm actually not going to do the belt. There is no cracks or anything showing, so we're just going to do the alternator. We got that bolt, so I can point to it, right there. And there's another one down on the bottom, but we're going to get the plugs off, and I'll let you know what size those are, and we will go from there. It's also a bolt on the back side here. It's kind of hard to see. I can get you guys in there. Right there. We'll see what that's about also. Alright, so we got that bracket off there, 10mm, and instead of popping the little plastic piece and breaking it, I took off the little 8mm right there. And then, I'm not real sure, but I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to move like that, but we'll figure out if we're missing bolts or whatever and fix it properly. So that bolt, get the belt out of the way. That bolt there is a 13mm. Use my little robo ratchet, as the kids call it, and we'll see what else. Okay, so that's the hole right there, and the bolt was broken off right there. So I ain't got to drill nothing or nothing. Let's get a new bolt with a new alternator, and we'll put it back together, and maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. Hell if I know. Well, alright, we got our brand spanking new remanufactured advanced auto parts alternator. And we got the charger going on the battery to bring it up. They didn't have the bolt that was missing or broken, but I have this one here, and a little spacer, so I think it'll work. It goes through right there, and it was broken off in the alternator, so we'll get it back in there, just reverse procedure as we took it out, and see if we've done any good or not. Alright, we got it back in there. The bolt did work. Belt is back on, connections all hooked back up. I don't condone just leaving broken bolts or bolts out on the bottom, but on this car, if you did it, I will say I would understand, because fuck that bolt. But it's in. This was my, so I used that ratchet there, and then that little setup there, 1-inch extension and a shallow 1/2-inch 6-point, and I was able to get it in. So now we'll test the battery, make sure it's up good enough, hook it back up, and see what happens. Well, it already looks better. 13.28 volts. Regular flooded, 690. Good battery. So we got it up where it needs to be. State of charge 98%, state of health 100%. So now we'll fire it up and check the alternator. And that automatically looks better. We're up over just over 14 volts with it running. So that's a big improvement. Do a quick charging test. Nice ripples. Good voltage, loaded testing. Bring the RPMs up. Charging is normal. Unloaded 14.2, loaded 14.1. Call that a win. We'll check it with the voltmeter here just to verify, but that looks good. Alright, check it out, the alternator. .1 at the battery. 13.9. I will take it. Oh, excuse me. Y'all have a great day, but that I call a win.